The numbers are in. We just got back from the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show at 2024. We looked at 340 boats. We got the brands, the makes, the links, the price, the MSRP, and all the data that you could want to know about from new boats, and compiled that all into a spreadsheet so that way we could compare the prices from the Miami International Boat Show, which was earlier this year, and we will compare the prices to see whether or not there is a softening in the market, whether the boat prices are plummeting, or whether or not there are any deals to be had on brand new boats or old inventory. Getting into this spreadsheet just so you can see what is going on here, this is how we have this set up. We have the brand, we have the model, we have the length, we have the MSRP price, and we have the boat show price. Now, as you can see, like right here, this Young Gulf Shore 17, which is a 16 feet 5-inch boat, it did not have a price. So there are quite a few boats on this list that does not have a price. I could just scroll down the sheet a little bit. I've got it sorted by the length right now, but like Young's, again, Young's didn't have no prices. This boat right here, Contenders, did not have any prices. Yellowfins did not have any prices. Invincibles, Nortex, a couple of the Grady Whites. There are some of these bigger boats, Solaces, they did not have a price tag on the boats, so there will be those that are excluded from this list. I have compiled all the information to show, based on the boats that had prices versus the boats that did not have prices. So do not worry about that. And then also, just so you know, these are boat show prices. Here is the MSRP for the boats, and here is the boat show price. So these are normally only at the boat show. A lot of these deals they don't really do at a regular dealer. From time to time, they might give you deals. Some are negotiable prices, but others are basically, it is what it is. Every dealer is different. Every boat brand is different. Every manufacturer is different. Every marina, every dealer, every shop is going to be different on how they handle the price. But these are just to get a feeling and an outside view, an overall perspective of the boating industry, the boating market, the prices, and what's going on here. So I'm not going to go through this entire list of all the boats. I've got them right now as the length. So right here, you can see all these blue ones are going to be my 16 to 20 footers. A lot of the Bonita Bay or Bonitas, Robalos, tracker boats, Edges. We've got, here's a Pioneer 180 Islander, normally $53,366. Boat show price was $42,793. Some of these other ones, actually, I'll just sort this from the price. That way it'll kind of give you a little bit better view of some of the cheaper boats, tracker boats, some of these Exumas. And Exuma is a little sport boat, so $17,000, $18,000. Mako Pro Skiff, $27,000 for a 17-footer. Bonita is a beautiful boat. The Sharkbait 141 14-footer, that one's $30,000. Stingrays, Key West 1720, $37,999. Hurricane Sundeck 185, that was $39,900. We've got the Robalos, a Yamaha AR 190, $41,000. The Mako 18 LTS, $42,000. Carolina Skiff, the 24 was $45,000. A Piranha P180, $48,000 for that. So some of these are, these are pretty normal prices for your 18 to 21 foot boats. A lot of them are just center consoles or bay boats. Here is a Bonita, which is a very high quality boat. The Little Snapper 171 is $61,000. The Robalo R20, $62,000 for that. Key West Nautic Star 2112 Legacy, $63,000, down from $84,000. So you're kind of in that 21 foot range is going to be anywhere from $60,000 to $70,000, maybe $80,000 for some of the higher builds. And then, once you get into the 21s, 22s, 23s, we're up into the like $80,000 mark. Duskies, the 22 Dusky, $75,000. The Kincraft 21, That one was $78,000. A Monterey 235, $79,000. The Bennington, which is a pontoon boat, 80 grand for a 26 footer. Carolina Skiff, the 24 footer, $83,000. We've got the Edgewater 208. That one was $94,000. Sea Hunts, the Sea Hunt Ultra 234, $95,000. Sea Foxes Ranger, the Ranger 235 or 2360 Bay, $127,000. Grady White 231 CE, 23-foot boat, 140 grand. We've got Cobias, the 24 Cobia, $147,000. The Genu NC 795 Sport 26 footer, $160,000. Sportsman's 252 and 247, both around $166,000, $168,000. Tidewater, that was a nice boat, $173,000 for a 27 footer. The Corkin, those were really popular. Really, they look like it's a Corkin. It's got that European style blunt nose, more of like a cruiser, day cruiser type of boat, very similar to an Axopar in the style of it. $173,000, 27 footer. The Sailfish 272 center console, 180 grand. World Cat 230 DC, the dual console, $181,000. Camus, beautiful boat, the 26 HB, beautiful bay boat, $185,000. The Hanover 305, very pretty boat, 190 grand. And then so on and so forth as we get down this list. Again, I'm not going to go through every single boat on here. Blackfin, the 272, $283,000. We're now up into the 28, 29, 30, 33 footers. The Dusky 33 was 300 grand. The Key West 291 was $300,000. The Monterey Elite 30, $301,000. We've got the Arabalo R317. That's a misprint there. It's actually 31, not 21, but $329,000. We've got the Grady White Freedom 285, $335,000. Grady White, obviously a more expensive boat. Beautiful boat, but they are a little bit more pricey. These Seawells were very, very pretty. Very nice boat. They've been around for like 50 years. European brand, or somewhere over there in Netherlands or Poland or something like that. Seawell 345 XL, $365,000. The Camus 291, $379,000. The NX boats, the N340, 400 grand. So now we are down into these 36s to 40s. Very, very pricey boats, except for like Grady White, 36 footer, $536,000. The Crevel 33, $544,000. The Camus 34 CT, $549,000. Raptor, those are really cool. 410 Solarium, it's a 41-foot boat, $630,000. Fountains, obviously beautiful boat, very pricey, very fast, $762,000 for the 39. And then we get into, the Phenom 34, $1.15 million. Just getting to be pricey. This was actually a misprint, 142. Let me go ahead and fix that right there because that was 142. That one actually, bink, there we go. Fix that. The 244 Key West was definitely not $1.24 million. 124,000 down from 142. And then obviously the Contender, the Solaces, the Yellowfins, the AMPs, the Invincibles, Nortex, and then some of these big Grady Whites, the Front Runners. None of those had any prices on them, but these again are all massive boats. We're talking about 47s, 42s, 40s, the 38s, 39s. These are all $1 million boats, or well over $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. So those did not have any prices on them. But now that we've kind of looked at the list, you can kind of get an idea that we have all of these boats. I'm going to go ahead and resort this list back to the links, and then we're going to take a look over here where we have the real numbers. So right here, I have kind of set this up. So, here's the percentage of boats, 10 to 14 feet. There was 7 boats that accounted for 2% of all the boats there at the convention center. So again, just to break this down, FLIBS is a massive show, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. It is huge. I only did the boats in the convention center only because a lot of the boats over at the marina, where most of the people are, where most of the boats are, these are all the yachts, the 10 million, 20 million, 30, 40 million dollar boats, the 50 footers, the 100 footers, the 120 footers. They're just the massive boats over there. It's beautiful to see, but for the purpose of this breakdown and the cost of the market and looking at, center consoles, dual consoles, catamarans, and the boats with outboards, singles, twins, trips, the bulk of the offshore recreational style boats that the average person is, going to be buying in the end, those are the boats that I focused on and got the numbers for. So back to the spreadsheet, we have the 16 to 20 footers. There was 35 boats, 10% of all the boats there. 21 to 25 foot boats, there were 120 of those, and that was 35% of the boats there. 26 to 30 footers, there were 92 boats, amounting for 27% of the market there. 31 to 35 footers, we had 47 boats at 14% of the boats being in that range. 36 to 40 footers, there were 32 of them for 9%. And then 41 to 47 feet, there were only 10 boats, amounting for 3% of the boats there. Now, there was a total of boats that we saw, 340. There were total boats with price were 308. The total value of all the boats with the prices for the 308 boats was $71,983,738. The average boat price for all of this was $233,713.44, which is way down from what we got from Miami. The minimum price was $17,735 and the maximum price was $1,348,482. Now, this I'm going to compare to Miami Boat Show. So the Miami Boat Show was back in February and this was in November. So now we're going to be comparing basically the beginning of 2024 and more towards the end of 2024. There are a couple of caveats that you should be thinking about here too. So Miami has way more boats in the convention center. They are a lot more, the Scouts, the Boston Whalers, the CVs, all those bigger boats, the 53s, the 47s, all those are there with prices. So the amount for the Miami Boat Show from the numbers that we got are going to be higher. So the numbers are higher because they include those boats. Granted, the percentages are going to be pretty well very similar. Now, before we go into that and compare these two, I do want to thank everybody for supporting this channel, for subscribing, for liking, commenting, and if you would like to continue to support the information that you're getting here, we do have a boaters program where you can get in contact with me. So if you're looking at buying a boat or you like this kind of information or you want to learn more about boating and your boat, how to fix it, all the different stuff, we have put basically everything I know into courses in that program. And then also you could get in contact with me. We run lives where we do stuff like this every week. And if you're interested in that, you can join that program. It supports the channel and you can see that at bornagainboating.com. Now, to do the comparison, I put them side by side. So we have the Miami Boat Show, which you'll notice these are pretty much very, very similar. 1%, 2%, 8%, 10%, 39%, 35%, 27, 26, 14, 14, 9, 8, 3, 4. The links of the boats and the percentage of the show that were there, they're very, very, very similar. 10 to 14 footers, there was 1% at Miami and 2% at FLIBS. The 16 to 20s, 8% and 10%. So those are very, very similar. They're, the percentage is pretty much neck and neck. We looked at 279 boats at Miami. There was 268 boats that had a price on them. The total value was $85,435,131. The average price, this is where you can see a massive difference. Again, account for those bigger boats like I just said a minute ago, but we had $318,787.80 of the average price. So massive difference between the average price at Flibs and the average price at Miami. So that is going from February of 2024 to November of 2024. And you've got that much of a difference for the average price of the boat. Granted, take into account that there are those bigger boats at Miami in the convention center where Flibs does not have those. Those bigger boats, the 39 CVs, all the Scouts, the Boston Whalers, most of those are there in the water at the other marina. We did not include those into this list, so that is part of this. But from 318 to 233, that's a big dip. So I would, that's a massive difference. And I have the difference over to the side to go over that number. But the minimum price at Miami was $21,280, which that went down quite a bit. And then the maximum price was $3,031,088, which is, a massive difference compared to Flibs. So when we look at these comparisons, we've got for the total boats, there was 61 boats difference that I got to more boats at Flibs than I did at Miami. Total boats with price, there's 40 boat difference. The total value of boats was $13,451,393 difference. So that is a massive difference. Again, maybe $8 million of that is going to be because there was Scouts, Boston Whalers, CVs, the big $800,000 boats. So if you take that $13 million off of there and just ran with this number, you're still going to have a big difference from your average price. The average price, actually, let me run those numbers real quick. 71,983,738, and I divide that by 268, we get 268,000. So I'm just going to put this number over here to the side. All right, so this number right here, the 268,596, that is if I took 71 million and I divided it by the 268, that's what the difference would have been. So if I take that 268 and I minus 233,713.44, that gives us a difference of $34,000. So that's the difference. Again, if we do the average price, 233 compared to 318, that was $85,000 difference, which was a drop of 27% in the average price. But if it was 34,000, that drop would have been a lot less. But still, a difference of $34,000 is a massive drop. And then again, a $3,545 difference in the minimum price. And then, the maximum price, we know why the maximum price difference is there. But given these numbers, I think that you can definitely see a softening in the market. And surprisingly, I did not see a lot of 2023s or 2024s there at the boat show. There was quite a few 2024s, but there were an outstanding amount of 2025 boats there at the show. So that means that there are less of the old stock out there than we think there are, and there are a lot more new boats. So it appears to be that people are still out there buying boats and they're spending money. Granted, they are a lot less and the market is softening. Whether or not that's a plummet, granted, we had an $85,000 difference between the average boat, but if we took the regular numbers and had a $34,000 difference in the average price, that is still that's a big chunk of money. I mean, $35,000 is a good chunk of money to be down for a market to drop that average price. A pretty big deal, and I think it's a good sign for anybody that is looking to buy a boat. Again, if you're looking to buy a boat, check us out at bornagainboating.com, join the boaters program, and maybe we can help you get your boat or look at boats for you and kind of see what exactly you're looking for.